Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, we're going to be talking about Israel and how Trump is not happy and how we're probably going to be removing our aid from Israel and how everything is going because obviously Israel is a hellscape. I don't like that country in particular. I don't like Netanyahu. And I don't like how America is always being controlled or felt being controlled by the Jews in general. And that's a problem. Now, some people are going to be Jewish or whatever on my channel and whatever. I do not hate Jews. However, I have a problem with the immense amount of issues and laws that we place around Jews in particular, whereas where I have the problem. And Israel is a lot has been going on there. So, without that here, we have this. We have from AFO saying journalist Dave Relly reported that a Mar-a-Lago insider told him AIPAC was getting shut out of the Trump administration and confirmed that from former NSA Waltz was working with Netanyahu to undermine the president. That's crazy. It says here. Just spoke with a general who was in Mar-a-Lago crowd. He said that AIPAC is getting shut out of the Trump administration, confirmed that Walz was trying to undermine Trump by working with Netanyahu, and said he is hopeful that the U.S. will decouple from Mossad and MI6. It says, to be clear, this actually happened. No, I can't name any source. And his hopes of severing ties with MI6 and Mossad are hopes. This is something we should all be working toward every day, not something we trust in the plan on. Be actively engaged. Of course, somebody said, that says it lacks strong evidence. Despite Mike Waltz's removal as NSA on May 1st, 2025, due to internal issues like a signal chat conversation, AIPAC's influence persists through figures like Marco Rubio, who has ties to the group. Additionally, the idea that Waltz was undermining Trump with Netanyahu seems more like a policy disagreement over Iran, not a deliberate effort to sabotage the president. Evidence suggests AIPAC's role in the administration remains insignificant. But again, we're going to have more information here. So there's that one piece, and then there's this. It says, as Sekia says, the Israel thing is pretty straightforward. Israel was using Mike Waltz to back-channel and betray the anti-war members of the Trump administration. The signal chat leak was a ploy to get rid of Hegseth and replace him with someone more amenable to war with Iran. Trump found out, and he's pissed. Israel had a very small window where the table was set to go to war with Iran, but they needed us, and so they poured all their assets into this mission. But they failed, and now are getting progress on decoupling from Israel that we haven't seen in decades. I call the signal chat thing a hoax from the beginning because they just happened to add the Atlantic and Jeffrey Goldberg. The biggest scumbag alive was too on the nose. It's going to be a dangerous time period for the anti-war people in the administration. Israel isn't going to just let this happen. Hoaxes and administration attempts are coming. Pray for Trump and his inner circle of patriots. Again, if Trump does get assassinated in any regard, Israel's doomed. We will annihilate Israel. Israel will be no longer a country. And I'll be all for it. This is the reason why. We already had Israel go out, and we had the JFK documents say that Israel was one of the ones that may have allegedly planned this assassination attempt on JFK. So it would be very, very weird all of a sudden that Trump is betraying Israel or not wanting to be aligned with Israel in their shenanigans, that they would go out and assassinate Trump. That would be insanity here. And again, I think that would destroy every kind of merit Israel would have, and it would not be good. That means if America finds out, and I bet everybody in the cabinet of Trump's cabinet knows the situation, and it all turns out to be true, then Israel will no longer be a state. They will be a wasteland because we will turn Israel into rubble. So perhaps the Jews shouldn't really be messing with Americans or even trying to attempt with this. Granted, this is alleged, all right? So we're going to go with more here. We have this from Mario Nofal saying, Trump to Netanyahu, I'll handle the Mid-East without you. Trump is reporting fed up with Netanyahu and moving ahead on Middle East deals without him. Word is Trump privately accused the Israeli PM of dragging his feet on a Saudi normalization deal and being too eager to pull the U.S. into a strike on Iran. The final straw? Trump's surprise ceasefire with the Houthis and quiet nuclear talks with Iran, both of which caught Jerusalem flat-footed. Trump still wants Israel in the Saudi deal, but for now, he's done waiting. Netanyahu's response: Israel can defend itself by itself. It goes on here with more with Mario Nilfo saying Trump reportedly pressed Netanyahu on Gaza aid. We've got to be good to Gaza. Trump said he urged Netanyahu to open humanitarian access to Gaza during their call this week, telling reporters, "We've got to be good to Gaza. Those people are suffering." Trump promised aid, citing urgent needs for food and medicine. While Netanyahu reportedly reacted positively, Israel has not yet publicly committed to changing its policy. The UN World Food Program warned Friday has run out of food stocks in Gaza, intensifying calls for immediate relief. And this is what Trump had to say for all this situation here. Netanyahu had a great conversation, and etc. So we're going to do the 1 minute here.
We had meetings together along with his very capable staff, and I think we've come up to some pretty good solutions and conclusions. And we'll be working a little bit after this, and then I assume you're going back home. Yes, sir. This is a quick stop, in and out. But we appreciate you being here, and we are a friend of Israel, as you know. I would say that I'm by far the best president that Israel has ever even thought of seeing. And it's an honor to be so, and to be so thought of. And many friends in Israel, they are not in an easy area. It doesn't go easy, but we are helping them, and likewise they've been helping us very much, and so we'll see how it all works out. But we had great discussions today, I think, on the obvious subject of Iran, and also the less obvious subject with respect to Israel, and that's trade. And I think the Prime Minister is going to tell you a little bit about trade and what they're doing for the United States. So I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you very much. And thank you. Benjamin, thank you very much.
But there's more to this. So we have this from the AF Post. It says, a plan to recognize a Palestinian state will be the focus of a four-way summit in Riyadh, including President Trump, according to Israeli outlet 301. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman will host a meeting during Trump's visit with Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa and Lebanese President Joseph Aoun also expected to attend. Again, we have this here. It says, reports pays Abbas Syrian and Lebanese presidents to join Trump's meeting with Saudi Arabia's bin Salman. So that happened a few days ago. And we have this here from Dominic Michael Trippi saying, President Trump reported cutting contact with PM Benjamin Netanyahu due to arrogance, attempts to push him around, causing Trump to feel disrespected and manipulated. That is not good. And again, we have this here from Times of Israel saying, report Trump disappointed with Netanyahu will continue Middle East policy chapters without him. It says, again, we have from AF Post says, Israel has threatened to respond with unilateral actions following reports that President Trump and other world leaders may move to recognize Palestinian statehood. So that isn't looking too great there. And then Netanyahu says, I think we'll have to detox from United States security assistance. What are you going to do, Israel? What are you going to do? Not get our aid? You are doomed without us, all right? You are toast. You are rotten barrel. You are not going to do anything here. Again, this is something that do it. I do not want to be supporting Israel. I do not want to be giving billions of dollars. Now, do I'm thinking that Israel should not have the right to defend themselves? Yes, I think Israel should have the right to defend themselves after what happened to them. However, us giving them money and them defending themselves is completely different things. We don't need to help you give money, all right? You can defend yourselves. And if you don't, and you want to detox us from the security assistance, by all means, go ahead. And we have this here, obviously. We have this Netanyahu who shows desire to relinquish U.S. security assistance. So we have that here. And we have, again, Israel Channel 12 from the current report says, Israeli PM Netanyahu said that Israel did not ask for permission to attack the Houthis and would not ask for permission from U.S. force war plans in Gaza. So that's been going on here. And then we have AF Post saying, Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, said that Israel is refusing to end the war in Gaza and holding up hostage negotiations. We want the detainees returned, but Israel doesn't want to end the war. And then we have this here that says, from Break News, says, just in, Trump's administration negotiates release of American-Israeli soldier Eden Alexander from Hamas without consulting Israel. So what do I get from all this, right? What do I get from all of this is going on? I think that some of this might actually be relatively true. And we're getting some actually good reporters talking about this and the current situations that's been going on. And if even times if Israel is talking about this, it has to be more likely true what's going on here. And it's crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy. So again, this is a good thing. We do not need to be reliant on Israel. We do not need to have Jews having so much power within our country to demand what we can and cannot say. Now, the whole thing with anti-Semitism or whatever, okay, that's okay, but that should be under the laws of racism. No racism should be allowed. So obviously, if you're going to do racism, regardless of who they are, that shouldn't be allowed, and those universities should not be able to have that being allowed in our country. However, I have a problem with Israel. I have a problem with giving them money constantly. I have a problem with Jews having so much control over our politics that it prevents us from getting things done. And Netanyahu has now put himself into a very bad corner. Israel is not in a good state whatsoever. And now that Trump is meeting with Saudi Arabia and other these high people and the prince, it ain't looking too great for Israel. Israel seems like it's going to be taking a step on the wayside. And if Israel thinks they could do it without the U.S., well, then by all means, it's your war. But you trying to get us into a war is not going to be of any good. And the fact that there are actual reports that they have maybe betrayed Trump or tried to work with Mike Waltz, woo-wee! If you pissed off Trump that way, things ain't going good for you. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.